Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this crop top. Let's get started. So from the top of my pattern here, I've marked out the starting line. I'll be marking out my bust point, which is 10, and the half length of this top, which is the full length, and 17 inches is my half length. That's what I just marked out here. I do not really need other measurements here because it's a free crop top. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I just marked out my bust point and my half length, and I'm writing it down here for you to see. So the next I'm going to come over to the starting line here, and I'll mark down my shoulder, which is 7. Then I'll add 1 inch to this 7. After that 1 inch, I'll come down by another 1 inch. I hope you understand what I just said here. So go ahead and connect it to the tip of your starting line to form your shoulder slope, just the way I did it. So my camera stopped here. That's why I'm going to repeat everything again. So after coming down by 1 inch, just the way I said before, go ahead and connect it like this. You can see what I'm doing. Come down from that 1 inch to mark out your armhole line, which is, mine is 7. So I'm going to mark it out like this. Make sure you mark yours properly. So after you're done with this, come over here and connect this line. Remember that this is your armhole line. You divide your armhole by 2, whatever you get, that's what you're going to mark out there. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my bust point at that line. I'll mark out my bust point divided by 4, which is 9.5 plus 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead to connect it in a curve to form my armhole, just the way I'm doing it. If you don't understand what I'm saying, look at what I'm doing. So from that 1 inch here, I'm just going to connect it down to where my half length stop. This is all I need for this front, for this back pattern. Okay, this is the back I'm drafting right now, guys. You can see what I just did here. So do yours the same. We need to draft out the back first before you draft out the front. So right now I'm going to mark out the neckline here, which is 3. I'm going to mark out 3 for the wideness and then 1.5 for the depth. Okay, so go ahead and do yours the same way, and then go ahead and connect. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. Help this channel to grow. Like, share, comment, tell me what you think about this pattern here. I hope it helps you. So this is the back here, and I'm going to go ahead to cut it out, then go into drafting the front. So guys, this is what the back looks like. So right now we'll go ahead to draft the front. So from the top of my pattern, I'm going to mark out 6 inches like this. Then from the side, I'm also going to mark out 6 inches. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to also mark out 6 inches from the side. So mark out 6 inches just the way I'm doing mine. You can see what I just did here. Then go ahead and connect it in a straight line. That line you just marked out, go ahead and connect it in a straight line. Look at what I'm doing and do yours the same way. Connect it just the way I'm doing it. So the next thing you're going to do is to start drafting your baby body. But before that, just go ahead to rule down the 6 inches line. Bring it down like this. Just follow the way I'm doing it. Follow it the way I'm doing it. You can see what I just did here. So I'm going to use my marker to make it visible for you to see. So do yours the same. Remember that you mark out 6 inches from the front and 6 inches from the back. Okay, you can also mark out 5 inches if you want. All right, so right now from this top line here, this is how I'm going to take my measurements. I'm going to mark out my bust point and my half length just the way I did for the front. Okay, sorry, for the back, just the way I did for the back. That's what I'm going to do here. Then I'm going to go ahead to connect it in a straight line. Remember, I'm going to repeat what I did for the back. That's what I'm going to repeat here for the front. So right now, after marking this line, I'm going to label it my bust point and my half length. So next, I'm going to come down here to mark out my shoulder. To mark out my neckline. Sorry, my neckline here is 3 by 3. I hope you understand what I'm saying. 3 by 3, 3 for the length, for the wideness, and 3 for the depth. So right now, I'm going to mark out my shoulder divided by 2, which is 7. Then I'll add 1 inch to it, just the way I did for the back, and then from that 1 inch I'll come down by another 1 inch to get my shoulder slope. Okay, this is what I just did here. Then I'm going to come down here to mark out my armhole divided by 2, which is 7. And then I'm going to mark out this straight line here to serve as my chest line. I hope you understand what I'm doing. Just look at what I'm doing if you don't understand what I'm saying. So this is what you're going to mark out here. Connect it in a straight line like this, then connect your armhole. Then this is just me trying to make these lines visible for you to see. This is what I did for the back before I started cutting the front. So right now I'm going to mark out my bust point divided by 4. Then add 1 inch sewing allowance and make out my armhole curve. Okay, just the way I did for the back, and this is what I did here. So after marking this armhole curve, just go ahead and bring it down to meet your half length. This is what I did. You can see what I just did here. Bring it down like this. Remember, it's a free crop shirt, so that's why we don't really need any shape or anything. We're just going with our bust measurement. So from this part here, that's what I just did. I'm going to go ahead to mark out 1 inch around this corner here. You can see what I'm doing. So do just the same way, just mark out like 1 inch. So you go ahead and mark out like 1 inch, then go ahead and connect it just the way I'm doing it. This is for the brackets where our button is going to stay. That's why I'm marking out 1 inch like this. You can see this top is very simple for you to do, so just go ahead and do yours. So this is what it looks like. Right now I'm going to be connecting this part here. Just look at what I did. So look at it very well. You can see the way I placed my pattern master, then go ahead to connect it. You can see, so go ahead and connect it like this. If you don't have a pattern master, use your free hand. You can see what I did here. You can see where my marker is connecting the lines together. You can see it here. From the bust point line here, connect it to the neck line. Okay, you can see what I just did here. You can see it, guys. You can see what I just did here. So I'm going to bring in the back. This is the reason why we drafted the back first. I'm going to measure the neckline I have at the back, the round neck. Okay, whatever you have here is what you're going to use to mark out what you're going to use for the front. Okay, now this is what I have for the back. I'm going to go ahead to place it on my front pattern like this. Make sure it's slanted. Okay, make sure that line is slanted. You can see when I rule it line now, you can see that, you can see how slanted it looks when I mark it out right now. So make sure it's a little bit slanted, let it not be straight. Okay, when you place your tape pro, after marking out what you got from the back line, this what I'm doing here, I actually did a mistake right here, so please don't follow this part I did here. So you can see that later on I went ahead to cancel it after I realized the mistake. Okay, so I'm going to repeat it here from the front line. Please look at what I did. Go in by 1/4 of an inch and then mark out, or 1/2 an inch, and then mark it out like this, like you're creating a dart. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So this new line is what we are going to use to create our collar. Then from this collar part, I'm going to mark at 3.5. It depends on what you want. If you want to mark at 4 inches, that's okay. It depends on what you want. So make sure it's also slanted. Okay, you can see the way I'm marking it at. Not, the lines are not straight, they are all slanted. All right, so mark out just like that. And next you're going to do is to extend this part here. Make sure you extend it. Okay, then look at what I'm going to do next. Okay, pay attention and look at what I'm going to do. It has to connect all these lines together so it will be visible for you to see. From this part here, I'm going to come up by 1/2 an inch. I came up by 1/2 an inch. I can see what I just did. Then go ahead to connect it like this, like you are creating a dart. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Create it like this, you can see, and then go ahead and mark out and connect this line to this upper part here. So now we have our collar already. Okay, this is going to serve as our collar. Okay, you understand what I just did here? Please look at what I did properly so that you can do yours the same. So I'm going to just go ahead to extend all my lines so that you can see the part will be cutting out. So right now, look at the way I'm cutting mine out, and cut yours the same way. Okay, so you don't make any mistake. I see the way I'm cutting it, very careful. So go ahead and cut yours the same way. All right, then after you're done cutting it, we are going to go ahead to sew this crop top. Okay, So after cutting, this is what it looks like, and when you sew it, this is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like on your pattern, on your material. Sorry, this is what it's going to look like when you are done sewing. This is how it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to cut this out, both the front and the back. Then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, you go ahead and cut it out, and I'll show you. So after cutting, this is what I have. I'm gonna have to cut. I also added few inches for this top area. You can see I cut it on fold. You can see it here, and I added few inches here for the front. And then there's something I want you to know about this front here, and I would like you to see to pay attention so that you can see what I'm talking about. So for this front, I folded it into two like this. You can see I folded this pattern, and then I went ahead to cut out this lining. This will serve as my front lining when I'm turning the front. You're going to see the way I'm going to turn it. So for the back, I cut it on fold. I also added a few inches around it. So for the front and the lining, I'm going to be sewing it, and this is how I'm going to sew it. So I'm going to place these two lining front facing front. You can see the way I placed it, and then I'm going to go ahead to start to pin it down, because I'm going to be stitching this area that I'm pinning down. I'm going to be sewing it, so do yours the same way. Look at what I'm doing and do yours the same way. So you're going to sew this area I'm pointing like this. That's the only place you're going to sew. So when you turn it, this line is going to go behind it. Okay, and the back here, you're going to be sewing the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back together. Okay, the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back together. You can see what I did here. Do not stitch the lining. Okay, do not sew the lining together with the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back. Okay, just only the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back. You can see what I did here, and do yours the same way. Okay, go ahead and do yours the same way, just the way I'm doing mine. If you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe, put on the notification bell, like, share, comment on what you think about this crop top. So after you're done, also repeat the same thing with this one here. You can see what I did. Then go ahead and stitch it up. Then I'll come back and show you how it looks like. Okay, after I'm done sewing it. So for the collar, I wanted to show you this. For the collar, I cut it on fold. You can see the way I showed you that it's on fold. All right, I cut the top part on fold. That's what I'm showing you. So make sure you add few inches allowance around it. You can see what I mean by cutting it on fold. So make sure you cut it on fold. Okay, and then this is what I have. I cut two pieces for it, one for the lining, one for the fabric. Right now I'm going to be sewing it. Okay, so I'm going to be stitching the parts I have, the cuff, the opening area on this collar. So I'm going to be marking it out here. This is what I'm doing. So go ahead and mark it out. Use your collar to trace it. Okay, then trace out the side, the upper part of the collar, because you'll be sewing it. That's the part you're going to be sewing. So I'm going to be using my collar to my pattern to demonstrate it for you. Remember that we have an opening, which is like the notch area of this collar. So you're going to be stitching that notch area. You stitch it down, you close it up, and then the upper side of this collar, because remember that you have the upper side of the collar here, where the upper side of the collar. So this is the straight area here. That's where that is the upper. Understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it a way that you understand. Just look at what I'm doing here, right? This curve area is okay. This is what it looks like after I'm done sewing it. All right, you can see what I did here. This is what it looks like. So you make sure that you sew the two together and turn it. So this is what it looks like, guys. Remember that this curve part should stay at the bottom part. This curve part is at the bottom part, the one that you'll be joining with the actual shirt. Okay, but this top part that is straight is the top. You understand what I'm saying? So this is my shirt. I'm done sewing it. I'm done stitching the shirt like this. You can see what I have. Then go ahead to notch the center of the back. So after notching the center of the back here, you can see what I did. You can see the way I'm spreading it out. Notch the center of your collar. Notch the center of your collar just the way I did mine. And then the next thing you're going to do is to place the two notch parts together and then pin it down. Okay, look at the way I'm pinning. So you're going to pin yours the same way. Make sure that you pin the collar to the to the end of the collar. Okay, make sure you pin it to the end of the collar and for the both side. Okay, make sure you pin them together till the end. All right, so do yours the same way the way I'm doing mine. So after pinning, this is what I have. Look at it here. Look at it here. You can see what I have here. You can see my notch area is showing. All right, this is what I have after pinning it down. So go ahead and pin yours the same way. Then the next thing you're going to do after pinning is to stitch this area you pin down. But before you pin it down, look at what I'm doing here. I'm going to pin all these parts properly. You can see what I did. So make sure you pin all the open area, open edge of this collar to the actual fabric, okay, to the main piece. After pinning, you should have something like this. All right, then you go ahead to run a stitch on it. Go ahead and run a stitch here, then I'll come back and show you what it actually looks like. So after stitching, this is what I have here. You can see I still have my open space here. I still have my open space. So the next thing I'm going to do, this is the reason why we have the lining here. So I'm going to fold in like this, my collar inside like this. Then I'm going to use the lining to turn it. You can see what I just did here. Just look at what I did and do yours the same way. Then go ahead and just pin it out. It's very simple. Go ahead and keep pinning your lining till you get to the end of your lining, just the way I did mine. Then any excess you can just trim it out after you are done sewing. So I'm going to show you what it looks like after I'm done pinning. That's what I just did. That's what I'm showing you here. So make sure you pin to the end of the shoulder line of your lining. So this is it here. Go ahead and stitch this area that you pinned. Make sure you sew it properly. Then when you're done stitching, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, you can see the collar area. You can see what it looks like. That's the reason why we have the lining. All right, so you go ahead and stitch it like this, and also repeat the same thing here. I'm going to do it here for you to see. You can see it here. Go ahead and stitch it down. I'll show you what it looks like. So after sewing, this is what it actually looks like. You can see what I have here. So make sure you cut out your lining, and I'm going to use this to put it out, to pull it out so that I can have the sharp edge. And this is what this is what it looks like here. And then here, go ahead to sew it. So you're going to stitch this side using your sewing allowance to sew it. I'm going to pin it down. Then I'm going to be sewing it with my, I'm going to be stitching it down with my sewing allowance at the both side. And I'm also going to fold in the hemming part of this the hem part of this top. I'm going to hem it. Okay, so when you're done stitching the side, you can go ahead and hem it. Okay, look at I've done hemming it. You can see what I have here. So I've done it. The next thing for me to do is to add in my sleeves. So you can see that I'm done hemming the part here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add in my sleeves, guys. So for the sleeve, I'm going to cut it out. So this is what it looks like. I already have a tutorial on how to cut out sleeve. So if you want to learn, you can just go ahead and watch my tutorial on how to cut your own short sleeve. Okay, it's even the pattern that I'm using to sew this. So I'm going to go ahead to join my short sleeve to my crop top, and I'm going to hem the bottom part. And the next thing is going to do, I'm going to be ironing the neckline just the way I just folded it. So this is what it looks like after I'm done stitching my sleeve and then ironing it. You can see the way it looks like. Just go ahead and fold it the way you like and then iron it. Your iron is going to make it stay like this. So this is all for this tutorial, guys. If you enjoy it, please like, share, subscribe. So guys, I'll see you on my next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.